Welcome back to the next Blast from the Past series video. Today I'm showing this AMT Pro Shop 1976 Chevrolet Caprice with the trailer. Way back in 1999 I bought two of these kits. I still have the one you see here, still sealed and unbuilt. In 1999, I had just come off of shore duty repairing boats at a shore intermediate maintenance activity, or SEMA for those of you that like the acronyms. I stepped aboard my next command on New Year's Eve 2000. They said to me, "Welcome aboard, Happy New Year. How do you feel about moving to Florida?" Well, all this time I was in, I had been trying to get orders to Jacksonville, Florida. My mom lived just about 30 minutes south of the base, and I had been trying to get down there all these years, and every time I called to see if I could get orders, they would just tell me, "Sorry, don't have anything for you in Florida." But I have Norfolk, Virginia, or I have Maryland, or I have Maine. I couldn't get to Florida to save my life, and now here it is. I've put down roots in Virginia Beach. I bought a really nice house. I was set to live there for the remainder of my Navy career. I had not quite 3 years to go to retirement, and they go, "Well, how about moving to Florida?" How about not? So it was about this time in my life that this kit came into it. I'd been looking for an Impala or a Caprice kit of this era for a while. I was really looking for a 71 or a 73 kit, or maybe even a 72 kit. I'd already built a few 1960s Impalas throughout the years, and they had started to become boring. I wanted to build something that was just a little bit different, and here it was. So let's take a look at the car. Now I know what you're thinking. Where's the trailer? Well, the trailer's in a display case with a car on it right now, and honestly, I didn't feel like getting it. But rest assured, I do have the trailer. I lost the hitch ball. Don't know where the hitch ball went, but I do have it. So the paint that I used on this one is craft paint. The color, I'm guessing metallic black. I don't remember the brand, but probably most likely it's Folk Art. The clear coat that I used was, now this is another blast from the past. Do you guys remember that the Model Master made an acrylic gloss clear coat? They also made flat and semi-gloss, but this was the acrylic gloss clear coat. You know, it was something, I remember this, it was something special to the hobby folks. Everybody that I spoke to at the hobby shop, that's where I used to go in Virginia Beach, they were all raving about it. And over the years, I admit, I went through several bottles of that stuff myself. And as a matter of fact, I still have a couple of bottles of it laying around here somewhere. But it's so old right now, I'd be afraid to put it on anything. It's kind of yellowed in the bottle, and, well, I don't know. So I was having fun with that new airbrush, that Tester's air can airbrush. Of course, I had it hooked to a big air compressor, so I was using that instead of an air can. But You know, I was using that in my garage, and my house faced west. So the afternoons in Virginia, during the summer, the inside of that garage would easily hit 110 degrees. It was almost kind of perfect, really. I could spray a car body and be handling it without harm to the paint in a matter of about an hour, because the paint would almost literally bake into place. So now it's been nearly 26 hours since 26 hours, listen to me, 26 years since this car was built. The foil is beginning to fail on it, unfortunately. I don't know why that is, but it's starting to crack and peel and fall off. But it is pretty old. But the paint is still fully intact, as well as the clear coat. Now, this car was built when I had less time for building and less time for my family. I was adjusting back to shipboard life, and it was pretty exhausting. And now I was worried about whether or not I'd have to sell everything and move to Florida. It's understandable, I was under a lot of stress. But one day I stumbled across a government website just for active duty members that were looking to swap duties with other people. I posted on there and asked, hey, anybody want to go to Florida? And the next morning I got a call. There was a guy looking to go to Florida, and he wanted to take my place on the ship. So I was like, okay, fine, that's good. You're on shore sea duty, I'm on sea duty. It'll be an easy swap. Let's do it. So I had just been made the leading petty officer for my division, a job that I had never done at any other command prior to this. There was always somebody that was more senior to me that took that job, so I never had the experience, got the experience, was given the experience. But the guy that was the leading petty officer of the division when I got there suddenly got an emergency transfer off the ship, and me being the senior petty officer, well, that job automatically fell to me. So the guy that was replacing me had some pretty big shoes to fill. I think he was, I don't remember, because I never really met the guy, I never really talked to him other than on the phone that one day. I don't know his seniority status, whether or not he actually made the cut for being the senior guy in the division on the ship or not. I don't know anything about that. But he was not, let's say, one of the favorites at the command that he was currently at. As a matter of fact, they were trying to get rid of him so bad that they couldn't stand it. They walked his paperwork through in a day. Now, in my case, the command did not want to let me go, and they dragged their feet, and it took me nearly 3 weeks to get my paperwork approved. But I got it approved and ended up on an LCU, another acronym. LCU stands for Landing Craft Utility. And I was not the senior person in the department, but I was the second guy in charge in the department. I stepped on board, and the craft master says to me, well, what do you think about my boat? I said, well, I feel like I need a tetanus shot just sitting here talking with you. He was really offended about that, but he said, you know, well, you don't like my boat? I said, no. It's the rustiest piece of crap I've ever seen. I was being brutally honest. And he was like, well, what are you going to do about it? I said, I'm going to fix it. And he told me, well, we don't have tools and equipment to do the job. And I said, don't worry about it. I've been stationed on this base for 7, 8 years now. I know a lot of people. I said, I'll get the tools. Don't worry about that. I said, you give me the window of opportunity to get the job done, and I'll get the tools and we'll get the job done. He says, well, you got about 2.5 weeks. I said, okay, I'll have the tools tomorrow. So I went over, checked out a truck the next day, and I went and got all the tools and stuff that I needed to do the job, and we started working. And we stripped the main deck down to bare metal, repainted everything, and the boat was looking really great when we left for my final deployment overseas. While we were riding in the back of the ship, an LCU goes back in, goes into the back end of the ship, and it rides inside the ship. We were out of the water, so I took that time to repaint the bottom of the boat and touch up all of the things I couldn't get to while it was in the water. And all the guys that worked for me were complaining. Oh my gosh, I never heard a bunch of guys complain so much. Why are we working so hard? Why are we doing this? Why? I said, trust me, it will pay dividends. Trust me. And when we got to our mid-deployment upkeep schedule, we were part of a 5-boat detachment. The guys on the other 4 boats that didn't do anything that whole time were now busting their butts from sunrise to sunset. For us, we'd come out in the morning, we'd sweep, we'd swab, and we'd go on the beach and have a good time all day long. After the first or second port visit, my guys were like, you were right. If we do all of our work now, we just have to maintain it and we get maximum liberty. And I said, I told you it would pay dividends. So when we got back, I was ready for retirement. And at that command, I had accumulated 1 more overseas deployment. I also received a Navy Achievement Medal, earned my Enlisted Surface Warfare Specialist pin, and qualified as a loadmaster on an LCU. Not bad for a guy that didn't want to go to Florida after all the years trying to get there. I joined the Navy when I lived in Florida. I was trying to get back down there before my mom died. I wanted to be close to her. And then after she passed, I no longer had a desire to go to Florida. And then the Navy dropped that on me. I had no desire to join the Navy living in Florida and retire from the Navy living in Florida. I almost came full circle. Almost. Anyway, this video's done. I hope you enjoyed the history of the vehicle and my life. If you did, go ahead and click the thumbs up, hype, and share buttons. It helps tell the YouTube algorithm that folks like my content. If you have any questions or comments, please write those in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to respond to you as soon as possible. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, or you can drop me a line at scaleoutaguy@gmail.com. And if you want more videos like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so that you'll be notified when I post new videos. Thanks for watching another Blast from the Past video from Scale Out a Guy's Workbench, and I'll see you on the next Blast from the Past.